Welcome back, everybody, to another learning session here. We got entertainment and we got academics for you from your host, Jules, teaching you all the things that you didn't know you needed to know. And today we have how do we develop things, the 4 stages of learning. Did you know there was 4 stages of learning, how you learn something? From going from not knowing anything about it at all to a quote unquote expert or mastering of those things. This is pretty similar, the same for all different kinds of learning, whether it's a habit or a skill, or just something like academically that you're trying to learn, which I would argue are almost habits or skills. Because as we know, habits are automatic responses to something or automatic actions that you do without even thinking. And how do we go from knowing nothing to having a habit automatically done for us? We've got to learn. Trick question. All right. So today we're going over a definition, a brief history, the stages, in depth, application opportunities, and once again, a conclusion. Common definition of learning: process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. So somebody has an experience, they catalog it, record it somewhere for people to read, watch, listen, however you ingest information. Or you could be like me, need to do the action in order to learn it, a kinesthetic type of learner. But that is the definition of learning. Taking somebody else's experiences and applying it to yourself. Typically moves through cycle. So when we're talking about the learning stages, they are cyclical. Sometimes you go back 2 steps to move forward 1 step, and then sometimes you can move 3 steps and move back 1 step, and then you're moving forward. But this is all cyclical, and you will be going through this for the rest of your life. Just to let y'all know, that is what happens when you are learning new things. Hopefully you are constantly learning new things. I am a big proponent of learning new things. Fail gloriously is what I say. Must transfer the acquired learnings to our specific reality, apply it, and practice its application until it becomes part of how we behave. So, going from nothing, applying it to ourselves, and then turning it into a habit. Part of how we behave. Yet again, another example of a habit. By understanding the 4 stages of learning, we can develop a more effective approach to personal growth and development. Okay, this is how we do here. The history, very quickly, a history. Some debate among scholars and practitioners about the true origin of the 4 stages. There are multiple people that say they came up with learning, but learning has been going on for thousands of years, so who technically came up with it? But they made it into a concise 4 stages in general for us. There's, I don't know, for anywhere from 3 to 5, but typically it's usually 4. They just have different names. There's evidence the model was first used by Martin M. Broadwell in 1969 in an article. Paul and Philip mentioned the model in their 1973 book, The Dynamics of Life Skills Coaching. Also, there was a model used at Gordon Training Institute by its employee Noel Birch in 1970s, where it's called the 4 stages of learning any skill. So somewhere in the 70s, we came up with this 4 stages, and here they are named for you: concrete experience, feeling; reflective observation, watching; abstract conceptualization or thinking; and active experimentation, doing. So feeling, watching, thinking, doing. You have a feeling when you first see this information, and as you're watching it, you start to take it in, and then you think about it after a while. This is where our theory crafting comes to do, and then hopefully you do it. Some people, and this is why I wanted to talk about this, is we get stuck in the thinking phase. We never actually do the thing because we're scared of failure, but failure happens, people. That is part of the whole process. And I will explain it to you here. Now, these are some of the names that come up: the CE, the ROAC, and the AE. But as you'll see here, we start explaining it to you, and there are the names. So first, stage 1, we have concrete experience, the CE, or unconscious incompetence. So unconsciously, we don't know what we are watching or seeing or experiencing at the time. So we start assimilating the information. Okay, what are we doing here? What is going on exactly? And what am I seeing in front of me? Oh my, they are playing this game with balls and sticks. I wonder what it could be. Oh, it's called pool. Let me think about that. Pool. Why would you take a stick and hit a little, I don't even know what a pool ball is made of. Whatever a pool ball is made of. And this is considered a game. You put it into pockets. Why are they called pockets? Because there are holes in the board somewhere. You may not understand and know how to do something, and you don't recognize there's a deficit. Like, oh, I've just learned about this. I don't know why it's a thing. Can lead to complacency and lack of motivation to change because it could just overwhelm you. This is another form of burnout, as is very much said in social media today. This is an example of burnout, lack of motivation. Recognition of incompetence and then cognition of the value of the new skill must be realized before moving on to the next stage. So we recognize we don't know a thing, and then we accept that. Oh, I didn't know this was a thing. I've never heard of it before. This is where the incompetence unconsciously comes in. Then we have stage 2, the RO, or conscious incompetence. We process the information. Okay, so we've experienced a thing. Now we take it in and we're like, how do we feel about this exactly? Do we want to learn more or do we not really care? This is the big thing here. When you're developing a skill, you actually have to care or want to do it in order to develop it. Awareness of lack of knowledge or skills, but not yet proficient in the desired behavior or skill. You see, there is a ceiling that you have to go through in order to be better at said skill or event or whatever it is. Can be frustrating, may feel overwhelmed or discouraged by lack of progress. Yes, making of mistakes can be integral to the learning process at this stage. Making of mistakes. I believe somebody said that a little bit earlier, like probably 2 minutes ago. Making of mistakes is a thing. Acknowledgement of weaknesses starts process of improving and developing skills. So this is where we start making mistakes because we've never done the thing before and we're trying to do it. Oh, there's these balls and sticks, pool balls. I try to hit the ball into the pocket and I miss. Oh, darn. Do I keep going or do I succumb to my failure suckiness? This is where we fail often, but we keep going. This is how it should be. Then we move on to stage 3, AC, or conscious competence. Then we assimilate the information. So we take the information that we've learned, we've experienced, and we go like, how can I make this better for myself? Necessary skills or knowledge develop, but conscious focus needed to apply them. So this is where the testing phase comes in. This is where we go, I've taken this experience, I've made it my own. Now I need to see if I can try it out and become successful at it. But yet again, you will fail often. Failing is part of the process. We cannot evolve without failure and learning from it. It's not possible. Requires concentration and can lapse into incompetence if broken. So if we're not consciously trying to get better, we will fail. And it can go back to incompetence. So this is the whole thing, use it or lose it type deal. So when you're learning a new skill, if you don't practice it often, you will lose your competence in that skill. It's just how it is. Use it or lose it is just not just a anecdotal phrase. It is something that you actually have happened in life. I'm sorry to say this. My high school Spanish has not developed much over the years. I don't have much opportunity. These last 20 plus years, I'll say it, I'm an old man now, 20 plus years, has not grown much. I know what a backpack is. Mochila. Mochila. Mochila? Sure, that one. I don't even know because I haven't used that word in so long. Got to use it or you will lose it. Can develop a more automatic and efficient process for applying a skill or behavior. Hey, habit with intentional practice. You have to try in order to develop a habit. You have to try. That is how it works. Oh boy. Yeah, I know some people are like, what the heck? Yes, that's how it happens. And finally, we have stage 4, AE, or unconscious competence. This is where you start processing the information, development of habits happen, and you can unconsciously do the thing that you've been trying to do purposely for so long. Skill or behavior has become second nature and able to perform it without conscious effort or attention. Formation of a habit, like I said before, may be able to teach to others. Here's the mastery, a quote-unquote experts, as we see in the next line. Remember that there's always room for improvement and growth. There are no experts. So the definition of an expert is somebody that's mastered a thing and doesn't need to do it again. But I would argue there's always room for improvement. Doesn't matter, whatever it could be. It could literally be lighting a fire or running, walking, things we've been doing since the beginning of time. Heck, there's people that are teaching other people how to breathe. Wim Hof, talking about that. They're teaching people how to breathe. We've been breathing before we've been born. Technically. I don't know how anybody feels about babies in the wombs or whatever, but they say you're breathing, you have gills or something like that. Sure, not an anatomy course here, but we've been breathing since I can remember. So the fact that people are still teaching people how to breathe is crazy to me. So no experts. Everybody's always trying to improve on something. You can literally improve anything as aforementioned examples. So there's that. And remember, once again, I want to point out that these stages are cyclical. You can go back to the beginning and start over again, even if it's the same skill you've been working on, because you might have forgotten it. Like I said, use it or lose it. So if you're going back and forth on these stages, totally fine, totally normal. Okay, how do we apply what we've learned? So unconscious incompetence, C. Be open to feedback and self-reflection. Look for areas to improve and be willing to ask for help. You have to be able to ask for help because we don't know what we don't know. So if we're experiencing something for the first time, you have to be willing to ask for help. How's you going to learn? This is the whole point of this discussion. Conscious incompetence, RO. Set achievable goals and break down the desired behavior or skill into smaller steps. Smaller steps. Celebrate small victories along the way. Express gratitude and patience for yourself. Okay? Just take the time. Celebrate the little wins. You can't build up your self-confidence if you don't celebrate. You can't just keep constantly beating yourself down and have patience. You're just learning something for the first time. You just learned about the thing in the first place. Didn't know it existed until then. And now you're practicing it for yourself. Conscious competence, AC, practice, practice, practice. This is where the practice comes in. Yes, AI, we are talking about practice. Focus on applying the skill or behavior in a variety of situations. Look for opportunities to receive feedback and refine your approach. Okay? This is where the in-depth analysis happens and you experiment, try the different things and see if it works for you. So first we have, once again, don't know what it is. Then we have, oh, I'm learning about it. The third we have, oh, I'm trying it for myself and applying it to my personal way of being. And then lastly, unconscious competence. This is where we mastery the things. We've taken it for ourselves and we've worked on it, formed habits. Look for ways to continue to challenge yourself and improve. Seek out opportunities for growth and development. Be willing to take risks and try new things. How can you keep evolving if you do not take risks and try new things? We need to fail gloriously and keep going, people. This is how this works when we try to learn new things. So tired of people, oh, I suck at it. Yes, because you've never tried it before. Have you purposely tried to do the thing? I ask you this. Have you purposely tried to do the thing? Okay, in conclusion, a definition was given. Yes, we defined it, learned how to do it. There was the briefest of histories. People argued. The steps were broken down. I told you about all the different steps. The examples of how to apply them were there. And we are in the middle of the summarization. So there we have it for today. Very quickly, broke down the 4 stages of development for you. Hopefully you learned something new. This is Jules here, your entertainment creative, teaching you all the different things. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share below, and comment on something that you're trying to learn now. Hopefully this helped you in your process of learning the things. But that is it. Jules out. Bye.